Many, many years ago, a king named Laius and a queen named Jocasta were expecting a baby when they were urgently warned about a prophecy that said their baby would grow up to kill Laius. When the baby was born, Jocasta gave it to a shepherd. She told the shepherd to bring the baby up the mountain near Thebes and abandon him there. The shepherd did not want to be responsible for the death of this defenseless baby, so instead he gave it to Polybus and Merope, the king and queen of Corinth. Polybus and Merope named the baby Oedipus and raised him as their own son for many years without telling him the truth. However, when Oedipus was a young man, he was told that Polybus and Merope were not his real parents. He asked them about it and he did not receive a convincing answer, so he decided to go to an oracle. Oedipus brought this problem up with the oracle, and the oracle told Oedipus that he would end up killing his father and marrying his mother. Oedipus decided to avoid this and never returned home. Oedipus was heading towards the city of Thebes when all of a sudden a chariot nearly ran him over. Oedipus and the man inside the chariot got in an argument, and Oedipus eventually killed him. When Oedipus finally reached Thebes, he encountered a sphinx who asked everyone who went in and out of the city a riddle. If the answer to the riddle was wrong, they would be killed. Oedipus was able to solve this riddle and defeated the Sphinx. Since Oedipus had saved the city and the king of Thebes was missing, Oedipus became the new king with Jocasta as his wife. While Oedipus was ruling as king, a terrible plague fell over Thebes. One day Oedipus came out of his palace to tell his people that he had sent out his brother-in-law Creon to the Delphi oracle to learn how to help the city. When Creon returned, he told Oedipus that the only way to get rid of the plague was to find the man responsible for the murder of King Laius and expel him from the city. When Oedipus heard this, he decided to dedicate himself to the investigation. He then sent out for Tiresias, the blind prophet, so he could learn more about the murder of Laius. When Tiresias reached the palace, Oedipus asked him about the murder, and Tiresias did not give him an answer and told him that the truth would only bring him misery. But Oedipus provoked Tiresias, so Tiresias told Oedipus that he was the one who killed Laius, and that he is the son of his wife and the brother of his children. When Tiresias left, Oedipus accused Creon of conspiring with the prophet. Creon denied this, and the two continued to argue. Jocasta then came out of the palace to figure out what the men were arguing about. Oedipus told Jocasta about the prophecies. Jocasta told him that not all prophecies come true. She tells Oedipus that there was once a prophecy that said Laius would be killed by his own son, and how it was impossible since their son was left to die, and Laius was killed by a band of thieves. A messenger then came to tell Jocasta and Oedipus that Polybus had died of natural causes. Oedipus was comforted by this, thinking that the prophecy was not true, but the messenger also told him that Polybus and Merope were not his real parents, and they only adopted him from a shepherd. Jocasta insisted that Oedipus stopped his investigation, but Oedipus decided to continue and asked for the shepherd. When the shepherd arrived, Oedipus interrogated him about who gave him the baby. The shepherd refused to answer, but Oedipus threatened him with death. The shepherd then told Oedipus that the baby was the son of Laius. Realizing who he was and who his parents were, Oedipus fled back into the palace. When Oedipus entered the palace, he saw that Jocasta had hung herself. In all the agony that Oedipus was in, he took the pins from Jocasta's robe and stabbed his eyes out. Oedipus emerged from the palace and begged the people of Thebes to exile him. He then asked Creon to look after his daughters and take over the role as king. Creon happily agreed, and Oedipus was then exiled for many years.
Such a chill